I notice I keep placing my hands on my heart, which makes sense because of our topic, right? So this whole month, we're talking about listening to our heart, and that is our specific topic for today as well. And it's a perfect topic for it also being Mother's Day. So I just want to give a special shout out to all the mothers, those of you who have given birth to or nurtured another human life. Yes, we bow in gratitude, so grateful. And it's really one of the most important jobs and responsibilities that one can take on. And one of the greatest gifts that a mother has is our intuition. I know for me, one of the greatest lessons of being a parent is learning to listen to and then trust that inner guidance and that intuition to lead and guide me in my role as a parent. And really, that's something that we all have. We all have that inner guidance and that intuition. So that's what we're going to be talking about this morning, really leaning into listening to that wisdom of the heart. So, did you know that the first sense that is developed in the embryo is sound? And the first sound that the embryo hears is its mother's heartbeat. The heartbeat is the voice of that primal sound of the heart. It's the wisdom and the guidance of the entire universe. And it's where our intuition resides. This heartbeat is forever speaking and guiding and imparting its wisdom to us, through us, as us. So the more we begin to listen to and pay attention, we can hear the call upon our own lives from that inner guidance, from that heartbeat. When I think of this idea of heartbeat and listening to our heart, it makes me think of the rituals of drumming and dancing and singing that are found in so many of our world's indigenous cultures as a way of connecting and communing with that natural pulse and that heartbeat of the earth.
Well, that besides the voice, the first instrument is the drum. So first we yell out, we're born, and then the next, the very first instrument was the drum.
Yes. So we discover that instrument of our voice when we're first born, right? And that vibration and that sound. And then the very first instrument, that's so interesting. The first instrument was a drum. And so often we hear the drum beat as that pulse, right? There's that rhythm.
Absolutely.
I'm reminded of an experience I had when I was in Hawaii, and we went to this black sand beach. And the sand, I just love it because the sand, it's almost like dirt. It's so thick with the black sand. And I had Heather bury me in the sand. I just wanted to I was just like, I just want to be part of this earth. So I'm laying there and I'm buried in this thick sand, and it kind of, has that comfort of like a weighted blanket to it. And as I'm laying there, I literally sense, and to my mind, as I tell this story, it's like I almost can't believe it, but I felt a pulse. I felt what I can describe as the heartbeat of Mother Earth in that black sand. It was a literal thing, and I was like looking around. It's not like there was somebody on the sand next to me drumming the heartbeat. It was a pulse in the sand, and that just reminds me of the aliveness that there is in Mother Earth and the aliveness that there is in me, and how we're all kind of connected by that heartbeat, by that pulse.
Yeah, I was thinking too when you were talking about Mother's Day and mothers and intuition. I don't know about your mom. We can always ask her, but I was certain that my mother had eyes in the back of her head. I mean, does anybody else experience that?
How did they know?
How did they catch me doing that? And if they didn't catch me, I had a lot of mothers out there that would report to my mother. Like, oh, did you know that she stole a jar of peanut butter from the store? It's like, it's crazy. But in speaking about the heart, even back in Proverbs, Proverbs chapter 4:23 tells us, above all else, guide your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. So think about that, your heart as the wellspring of life. We use the word, like I talked about last week with soul, how much we use that word soul. Well, it's the same thing with heart, isn't it? I mean, in so much of our language, she has a heart. Go to the heart of the matter. Your heart is true. Don't break my heart. How do you mend a broken heart, right? My heart aches. Look into your heart. You will find the answer. My heart goes out to you. Don't do things half-heartedly, right? And I can think, I can pretty much say that my mother, when people would refer to her, would say that she has a beautiful heart, that she had a good heart, and so I'm thinking that maybe the greatest treasure of our human self is our hearts. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like a good heart. If you think about a good heart, what does that mean when I say, you have a good heart, Rainbow? Reverend Rainbow, you have a good heart. So, but what does that really mean if we break it down? Well, a good heart understands. A good heart listens, it loves, it forgives, it's cheerful. A good heart can be generous. I give you my heart. A good heart embodies faith and devotion and trust and other life enriching and illuminating virtues. And I believe that this inner essence is what we call the open heart. It's our gift to one another.
Yeah, when I think of this idea of that, what it means to have a good heart, it really is in relationship with another that we can practice listening with our hearts, and this idea of empathy and compassion. So when we listen to our heart, that means we're guided by that inner wisdom, that pulse, and we kind of can drop from our head to our heart. It's a whole new experience of how to be with one another. Because if we're listening from our head, what does the head do? The head is always analyzing. The head is always thinking about, what am I going to say next to either attack or defend my position. The head often feels judged and is hanging on to needing to be right and has opinions. But the heart, there's none of that in the heart. The heart is that space of love, of compassion. The heart is what unifies all of us. We all have a heartbeat. And so when we drop into our heart, I think it really is connecting to the one life. And how it can show up in relationship is by remembering that when we're fully present with another person and listening from our heart to hear their heart, it really is communing with the divine. It's a way of being present to the oneness and listening to that voice of spirit to come through another. Because that's how this thing called life, what you may call universe, what you may call God, shows up and expresses, is through another individual. And so when we listen to our heart, we open up to that possibility of seeing the divine in another. It's spirit expressing itself uniquely. I love this quote from Mother Teresa. God speaks in the silence of the heart. Listening is the beginning of the prayer. I think that's why so often, we start a prayer. I know I do. I just take a breath. Even just in that one breath, it begins that opening of listening. So that prayer starts in the listening, in the moment of just letting everything else go and opening and expanding the heart to listen. Yet, we live in this world that provides us with so many distractions, so many opportunities to get kind of pulled in to various narratives and conversations about what's wrong in the world, what's wrong about us, being bombarded by all of this media, on social media, on the news, billboards, all around us. There's so many opportunities to get kind of sucked into the distraction of the outside world. And at that point, it can become very hard to begin to decipher what is true. especially on social media. I think what we're seeing right now, it's like there's just there's these two sides. Everything is becoming so divisive, and depending on what you're listening to, it's so easy to get caught up in that story and believe that point of view. And the truth resides somewhere in between all those stories.
In between all of it.
There's that, what the Buddhists called the middle way or the middle path, right? And that middle way can be found always by returning within and listening to that heart. And what we remember is when we say, listen to your heart, trust your heart, again, it's not an individual experience. It's not listening to your ego mind. It's listening to your heart, which is one with all of life. And so for me, listening to my heart always guides me to something, to make an action or decision that's considering the best for the whole. It's not just what's right or best for me, because then I'm really in my own limited perspective thinking that there is an us and a them. But when I listen to my heart, I'm coming from that place of wholeness, of oneness, and it's always guiding me to do what is best for the whole. In order to access this infinite wisdom within us, Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind teaching, he suggested that we court the presence and direct the law. Court the presence and direct the law. What I love about that one simple quote, it kind of shows us that there is the idea of courting the presence, which is being receptive, which is listening to our heart, which is the practice of meditation, of visioning, all of those kind of receptive practices we have of listening. And then direct the law. To me, that's like what we do with our affirmations, with our intentions, with our affirmative prayer. We're listening, and that release, it's kind of putting it out, and it's focusing the intention of what we desire. So first we listen, we get that divine guidance, that insight, and then we kind of point it a little bit more clearly as a specific intention of something we desire or we want to do or see or manifest in this world of form. That's how we direct the law. And the way the law works is the law always says yes. So the law is just like that soil. We plant our seed in it. No matter what we're planting in it, the soil just says yes and grows it. If I plant that watermelon seed, it's going to grow a watermelon. The soil doesn't say, I don't like that watermelon seed. I'm feeling more like a cantaloupe today. A cantaloupe feels good, right?
I'm already married.
Cantaloupe, I'm already married. Oh, goodness. Last week, she said something to me that made me laugh so hard, I almost choked and then spit up my food. So we have fun here, I promise. So we court the presence and we direct the law. It's attained by that deep connection of spirit through meditation, through that creative surrender and aligning with that divine love, that infinite wisdom guided by our heart always. There's another wonderful Ernest Holmes quote here that kind of speaks to this idea of finding that guidance and walking along that path of light, of love. So when we become overwhelmed with all the options and all the messages of the world and trying to decide what is right for us, what is true, and what that guidance is, he says, there is within ourselves the answer to every question and the solution of every problem. That spirit makes the demand and will answer that demand from within when we allow ourselves to wait for the mental storm to die down. I'm going to say that again.
Yeah, for sure.
So the spirit makes the demand and will answer that demand from within when we allow and wait for the mental storm to die down. Be still and know is the secret of guidance, as it is to every problem of life. A perturbed mind can never get the correct answer. A stilled mind always can, because the answer comes from the God within.
I love that. A perturbed.
I like that word too.
Perturbed mind cannot, it's like rolling around in chaos. Mm-hmm. How are you going to find any answers? Mm-hmm. Got to get out of the chaos. A few years ago, I watched a documentary called I Am.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a very good one. And one of the things that fascinated me in this movie was the Institute of Heart Math. Has everybody heard of that Institute of Heart
Yes.
Math. Okay, some people in here I see are raising their hands. Well, this is just for those of you who do not know what the Institute of Heart Math is. It's a nonprofit research institute that is studying the heart. And the Institute of Heart Maths, the Institute of Heart Math has spent the last 2 decades researching stress and emotions, heart intelligence, and other areas related to the human physiology and performance, including heart-brain interactions, cardiac coherence, and test anxiety. Test anxiety, something I had in high school. By applying the results of this research, it has helped to improve the lives of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. I mean, this is it's huge right now, this whole study of the heart. And the IHM Research Center's groundbreaking research of heart rate variability and the power of positive emotions to improve health and transform negative behavior patterns has contributed important new information to science. So here's what fascinates me the most is not only has IHM studies shown a surprising relationship between the heart and intuitive processes, suggesting the heart participates in receiving, processing, and decoding intuitive information. Compelling evidence indicates the heart can receive intuitive information before the brain. A lot of people think it's all about the brain,
Right.
but hello. And it's a basic fact of physiology that your heart and brain exchange information, and that information that they exchange governs how you think, act, and feel. But here's the thing. Studies at the Institute of Heart Math have shown that heart-brain interactions can occur. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
From one individual to another.
What?
Yes. So your heart can communicate with another person's brain. I'm communicating with you right now, Reverend Rainbow. My heart is communicating to your brain.
I'm picking up some vibes.
Are you picking up some vibes?
Picking up some vibes of love,
yeah, love
and appreciation.
and appreciation.
How awesome I am.
Yeah,
Keep it coming.
exactly. That is exactly what I am communicating. You are like, you're just reading, instead of reading my mind, you're reading my heart.
I love that.
You're not reading my mind, you're reading my heart. Isn't that incredible? So it's I love it. So in 1999, and that's a while back, a heart math study found that when two people are at a conversational distance, the electromagnetic signal generated by one person's heart can influence the other person's brain rhythms.
Wow.
I'm influencing your brain rhythms right now. Are you feeling good?
Feels like a head massage.
Yeah, exactly. So the heart produces the body's most powerful rhythmic electromagnetic field, which carries emotional information and mediates bioelectromagnetic communication within and outside the body. And this field affects one's environment in fascinating ways. So I'm also projecting to everybody who's watching us on YouTube right now. My heart is projecting to you. Maybe you can feel it. So what does all this mean for you and me? Thank you for asking. It is all about our interconnectedness. Science is proving what Dr. Holmes has been saying all along, that we're all connected.
Yep.
All connected. And don't get me started on the connection we have to trees and to forests and to birds and to animals and all of that. An interesting thing, I was thinking about this a few minutes ago while you were talking, that some of the things that we refer to is she has a big heart. And we say that about animals too. And in fact, one of the most famous racehorses in the world, Secretariat, they used to say runs with heart.
Wow.
Runs with a big heart. And when Secretariat died and they did an autopsy, Secretariat's heart was enlarged.
Wow.
So it actually was a big heart, which I find fascinating. So here's the thing, we're all connected. So when we are feeling positive emotions, for example, like enjoying the sunset or enjoying each other and feeling love and compassion, the heart beats out a very different message. Emotional information is actually encoded and modulated in those magnetic fields of the heart. So what we feel matters, and how we treat each other matters. How we communicate with one another matters, especially, well, not especially, but even in social media, how we communicate with each other matters. We can be kind and still get our point across. We don't have to be angry or mad or mean. So when we learn this information, when we learn that we can be kind, when we learn to shift our emotions, we are changing the information or encoding into the magnetic fields radiated by the heart, and that can impact ourselves as well as those around us. So the deal is, we are deeply interconnected to each other and the planet. And so we're responsible. There's a responsibility that we have to actually vibrate from our heart's love and compassion and kindness so that we can influence our entire planet. And it is Mother Earth, after all, right?
Happy Mother's Day
Happy
to Mother
Mother's
Earth.
Day, Mother Earth.
Yes.
So what we do individually really, really matters to each other and our world. And so every day, and we talk about choice a lot, we get to choose what really matters in our lives. And we get to choose what's important and what we're going to contribute to others, to the world, to ourselves. We get to choose how we treat our neighbors. We get to choose whether we wear a mask or not. Important information. We get to choose how we treat our coworkers, even if they're on Zoom. Even if we're doing spiritual practices, we get to choose how we treat our loved ones when we're in quarantine with them. And the question we can ask ourselves every day is, are we living half-heartedly or with our whole heart? Rumi wrote that the world is within you and the whole world is springing up from it. So how perfect, when we talk about the wellspring of our heart, how perfect that the wellness and the spring of our heart can change the world. Yeah? What do you think?
I love the idea and the work from Heart Math, kind of bringing in this idea of science and biology and the spiritual aspect of the energy of our heart and the interconnection. It's so fascinating to see where in some places there can be such a divide between science and religion or spirituality, and I feel like we're really interested again in finding that middle path.
Absolutely.
And it really is consciousness, vibration, energy, the interconnection of those subtle bodies, what some may call like the energy of the heart or the heart chakra, and how that affects the physical organ of the heart, and how our heart beats and changes and can affect our emotional body and our subtle bodies. And so really just looking at life from a perspective of wholeness, I think is a fun exercise to do, and to just getting more connected with and noticing those subtle urges or what how intuition works for you.
Mm-hmm.
And does it come as a flutter in your heart, a kind of a stirring in the belly? For me, often my heart kind of pounds faster when I know that there's something for me to say or do. So just watching the aliveness of my physical body and what is that subtle message it is seeking to tell me. So our invitation this week to really put this into practice is to commune with the heart, to listen, to find that point of stillness, that sweet spot where the mind is quiet and we're really listening to the heart and listening to that primal rhythm of life, that heartbeat, feeling it pulse throughout your entire being. It may even be an opportunity. This is bonus homework. So first you're going to listen to your heart, but the bonus homework is to put on some music that really has a pulse, right? That has that kind of heartbeat rhythm, and move your body a little bit and see what happens. Just begin to notice the energy shift in your body, in your mental space, in your emotional body, and your physical body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and if you really want to, post yourself dancing and share your video on our community group.
Oh,
That's
I love that.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. And the other thing about that is if you open your heart, you automatically open your mind.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes.
That connection is so deep and so connected. If I open my heart, what happens is my mind is open. Like I'm getting stuff from you now, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my heart is opening your mind.
Yeah, my brain is,
Yeah, it's like it's I think it's like literally physically impossible to be running a story about someone, yourself or another, in your mind while your heart is open.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that's your exercise. Post your videos, dance, do your heart opening dance, and let us see it. Share it with us.
Let's do that.
Yes. Oh, and next week we have something exciting coming up. Next week, we're going to be looking at living in your zone of genius.
I am a genius.
Yes.
I'm a genius.
So join us to see what that's all about as Reverend Soni and I share our genius with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Shall we go into prayer?
Let's pray.
Would you like to start this time?
Sure.
All
right. So starting with that breath, that space of listening, opening the heart, allowing that subtle energy of the heart to expand. Breathing. Yes, listening to the heart. Knowing and recognizing the one life as love, as wholeness, as harmony. I know that this one divine activity is who I am. So I open my heart to this now eternal moment where all of life, the pure potentiality and possibility resides right here. I tune in and tap in and connect with that field of unlimited possibility by opening my heart and my mind to receive what is mine to receive right here, right now. Allowing all the goodness of the universe to flow through me as I become that open channel. Living and moving and having my very being in this interconnected field of oneness. Knowing that in this place there is only love, there is only peace, harmony, beauty, joy. I allow this energy to inform every cell of my physical body right here, right now. I allow this energy of oneness to inform my entire vital and subtle bodies, my emotional body, extending this energy of the heart all around me, opening my heart, expanding this love to my entire community, to our country, expanding even further, embracing all of Mother Earth and the entire collective humanity in this field of prayer right here, right now, knowing love, knowing peace, knowing harmony, knowing that a way will be made, that any seeming problems in our world of form, that there is a divine solution as we collectively decide to begin to listen to our heart and not our mind, to drop into the heart. So right here, right now, I speak this word of prayer, knowing that This heart expansion is occurring on behalf of our entire collective humanity. I am just so grateful to open my heart and to be the one that is asking what is mine to do in each and every moment, led and guided by my heart, listening to my intuition, and knowing that this is possible for each and every one of us as we choose it. So I know a great heart opening is occurring on behalf of the entire planet right here, right now. This is what I choose. This is what I say yes to. And I allow my heart to be broken open to the expansiveness of love, of divine love. And I pass my word.
As I just breathe in, knowing that the infinite source of all living, all life as we know it, all life as sometimes we don't know it, that as I traverse anything that may standing in the way of my heart opening up, I declare and know right here in this moment that I lie open to the infinite. And it is from this heart opening that I speak this word, knowing that right here and right now, as my heart is open, as all of our hearts are open, that this is the natural way of being, and it is the natural state of being. It is that natural place of healing, of wholeness, of love, of peace, of abundance and prosperity. It is from within that I experience right here and right now, knowing that nothing on the outside can give us anything, because everything is living on the inside in this heart space, this place of desire, this place of compassion, this place of empathy, this place of love, this place of peace. And I know that this peace, and I declare it right here and right now, is the true light. As I speak this word, my word for this community, I declare and know that peace is that inner light that is shining from within out into the world. This ecstasy that I know as peace, this joy, this bliss of connection, for nothing can keep us apart. Nothing can keep us away. No disease, no virus, no infinite knowingness that we will someday be back together. Someday is now. It is now. And so nothing can keep us from this total and absolute connection that we already have in that heart space. I know that right here and right now, that God has reconfigured the universe so that we can still all be together through love and through inspiration and through this divine knowingness that there is no separation in God. And so I know that wherever I am, wherever you are, wherever we are, suspended in time, because there is no time, that we are here, loving one another, being together, supporting one another, and knowing that the only answer is love. That love is always indeed the answer, and love comes from the heart. And so I stand in the power and the presence of this prayer that has been connected through time and space, through energy, through compassion, through Reverend Rainbow and myself, as we speak our prayer as one, in gratitude and love, as I simply release this prayer into the universal law, knowing that the universe always says yes. It always says yes. Say it with me, people. Yes.
Yes.
I stand in the power of yes, the place of grace, by saying shalom, hamdulillah, ashe, namaste. This prayer is done. I leave it knowing it is so. So it is.
So it is.
Amen.